Hiya, it's me. Okay, in today's video, we'll be checking out Pretty Smart, another Netflix series. This one has Emily Osment and Greg Salkin, former Disney stars. Hello! Anyway, yeah, let's go. Pretty Smart. Claire starts by telling her friends slash roommates that her sister's coming for a visit for 3 days to be here to wait for her boyfriend to come by, and then they'll head off. So Chelsea comes in, and it's a little bit awkward. We haven't seen each other in years. She meets the roommate slash friends. We have Grant, who's a personal trainer. We have Solana, who's an ex-lawyer, and then we have Michael JJJ. I don't have time for that. Who's an influencer. So that's all the friends, and then they go to her part-time bedroom, talks about how she had a boyfriend, and I have some thoughts about that, her friend and everything else. Someone judges Grant about him not being the sharpest tool in the quote-unquote shed. Judgmental much? Hello. And then they go to Claire's place of work, which is a diner, but she's somewhat condescending a little bit and judgmental. And then the friends come into has this ugly face on her face. Boyfriend calls her. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you called. She's dumped over the phone. Taylor Swift much? And she tells the roommate that she's been dumped. And then they go back to the house, and Chelsea's crying about, oh my gosh, he used me. Yes, she did, girl. Yes, he did. Anyway, and then the resentment between the two sisters come out. Claire storms out crying. Grant is in the kitchen, comes in, Michael JJJ, comes out, escorts him outside, shows him the shed that he's been crying out like 5 minutes ago. He gets a shed. And obviously Chelsea sees this. While sitting outside with Grant sheds some enlightenment.
But it's not the shed that matters. It's the tools inside it.
Right. Stops being condescending towards Grant. Thank you. And then she apologizes to Claire, who comes back and gives her the t-shirt and realizes it's a misunderstanding. We can be sisters. And they all end up in the shed, shedding some love. And that's the end of the episode. Speed round season 1 recap. Let's go. Chelsea gets her things back from the ex-boyfriend, and then they realize that he planned to break up with her days before they were supposed to move together to LA. Sad. And then she cries for a few days, causing friction with everyone. Jay cannot do his influencing, so he has to go to the shed. Grant can't use his foam roller. Solana can't have clients in the house. So Claire stands up to her and says, you know what, you can be mean to me, but don't be disrespectful to my friends. If you cannot get your together, leave. She apologizes later, of course, and Grant offers her a job at his gym. He has a gym. So while working, her former classmate Margot comes for a visit and brags about shopping for a novel. So she lies and says she has a novel too, and there's a signing at home. I would invite you, but you're busy. And she tells the roommates this, and they all say, you know what? We'll come together. We'll make your lie come true. And they'll create this whole facade. And then eventually, of course, it does blow up in her face. And she tells the truth. But does create a good story. She leaves satisfied, the girl, bragging that she has a novel. We find out what Solana does for a living. She reads tarot cards. So she reads cards for everyone in the house, including Grant, who gets not so good of a card and freaks out the whole day. Chelsea doesn't agree with these cards, so she tries her very best to convince Grant otherwise by saying, no, they're not real. Relax. Well, in the meantime, Claire and Jay go to an LGBTQ party, and Jay doesn't want Claire to come, and he doesn't tell her that, so there's a huge miscommunication because he feels like that's his safe space, somewhere he can be totally himself and not try to explain every single thing. So eventually they do come together.
The fact that you love me for who I am means so much to me.
And then later, Chelsea does choke on whatever she was choking on. Grant saves her, and that would be the tarot cards coming true. Yeah, right. And they have a quote-unquote moment. She assumes that Grant is here to tell her that he likes her, but turns out no. He just wants her help to help him tell Claire that he has feelings for her, to make sure that she feels the same way. She finally agrees to help him. So they go to a spa. Her and Chelsea talk. She asks her, hey, do you like someone? He says, yeah, I do have feelings for someone. And then Claire says, go for it. Okay. Well, in the meantime, Solana is here trying to get her lit on fire, if you know what I mean. And she finally does it, but what lifts her up is just weird. Grant and Claire have this conversation, finally tells her how he feels. She's not there, which is a lie in my opinion. But anyway, and they're still friends and roommates after that. Things get awkward after that for a while between Claire and Grant. Claire goes to talk to Jay, and Jay asks her, do you have feelings for him? And she says no. So after that, Jay asks Claire to help him with something to find out that his crush is actually gay because he doesn't really know. So they go to this pottery class and check this guy out. One minute he talks gay, the next he doesn't. And then Claire finds a potential boyfriend during that class. Beautiful stuff. Then in the meantime, Chelsea goes on dates after the whole Grant debacle and then ends up on a double date with Grant. Funny stuff. Obviously, the date doesn't go well. They ditch the couple that they were going double dates on, and then they bond through that mismatch dates. And yeah, all is well between them again. So after bonding with Chelsea, Grant tries by all means to make sure that Chelsea feels welcome with the game that they invented. So they make up this weird theory how he is, what he does, and stuff like that. I was checking out someone else's mail.
Okay, hang on. I think we just invented a drinking game.
And Chelsea ruins the letter that they were supposed to open together. With the letter missing / destroyed, everyone tries to search for it and get it back so they can play the game. And then they finally meet the guy, they compensate with him, and then that is just weird. That's the game. I'm not gonna say much about it, it's just weird. So Chelsea asks him, hey, why don't you talk to your mom anymore? So like normal people would talk, right? But he does it with dance. So he dances creative but unnecessary. After that, he does meet with his mom, and his mom tells him, hey, I have this Nike ad I want you to do. So they do that, and he becomes very the same way, very irritated, bullied somewhat, and finally tells her, yo mom, stop doing this, like that's why I stopped talking to you. And then finally reveals the truth. The mom finally reveals the truth of why she made up this lie, and then they start the relationship all over again. Chelsea and Grant eating food the whole day that his grandmother made. Really not necessary. But yeah, Claire has a new boyfriend. You know, that party barn guy? Yeah, that's her new boyfriend. And she's trying by all means to get her friends to like him. So Solana takes him to this whole thing to finally reveal.
Well, I don't care if you like Dave because I like Dave and that's all that matters.
Yes, you don't need anybody's approval, yo. Chelsea is trying to finish her short story for Harvard and enlists Grant's help in a very unconventional way by going on a treadmill. And Solana, she goes back to her lawyering ways. She's a lawyer again, but secretly she doesn't want anyone to know. And come to find out, her real name is Allison. Then she reveals why she actually left law and why she did what she did, but she's slowly trying to get back to it slowly in a very well-mannered way. Because her friends were like, yo, is she in a cult? Is she in a cult? Instead of just asking her, yo, what's up? And then finally it is revealed that actually Grant's methods work. She finished her short story and realized she's very pessimistic. She used the word can't like a lot, and that's why Grant gave her the can to stare at in the treadmill. Yay, Grant is smart, guys. He is smart. And they have another moment again. And after that moment, Chelsea dreams about disappointing Claire by testing her ex-boyfriend. Tell Claire that she has crush on her ex-boyfriend and her ex-boyfriend feels the same way about her. Anyway, and then Solana in the meantime tries to get Jay to disconnect this social media connection away and just step away from his phone and social media for a while, at least a day. And then she ends up caught up into it as well. Shame. Social media is addictive, guys. Pay attention to that. Pay attention. And after a while, after the whole day of deciding what to do and how to tell her, Claire breaks up with her own boyfriend because her boyfriend found a t-shirt that Grant gave her, the first t-shirt that he wore when they first met, and spilled coffee on it. And she reminisces, oh, I do like him. What writing. But anyway, she breaks up with the boyfriend and kisses Grant at the end of the episode. Cliffhanger much? So my final thoughts on the show. What I did love, I want to mention the first thing. What I did love is that the characters are actually age appropriate. I loved that. You know my rant about it. You know, go check that one out. Other than that, love the characters. My favorite has to be Jaden. Oh, love him. But I'm gonna tread lightly here. But I so wish that they did him different, because I know that community is on a spectrum. Like everyone, like sexuality and personality and everything is on a spectrum. So I would have loved that they did something different with his character. Like Love Simon, reserved but funny. Because when I see a lot of these shows, when they have gay characters or people in the community, most of them are like, hey, out there and outgoing, which I get, a lot of us are, but I would love them to have switched it up a little bit on his character. But love him. The two former Disney stars, disappointed that they're doing the show, especially for Greg. Evelyn High, love that movie, love it. But Emily just enjoys doing comedy, so I hope she continues with that. Solana, love that character. I love that she stopped lawyering because it gave her stress, but went back. But hopefully, if they do come back for season 2, I so hope that they continue with her story and see where she goes with that. But overall, fine. I didn't love that it didn't have diversity, and I mean diversity, I mean in terms of body size and body types. They still give us the same body types: the thin, tall, flat abs, flat stomachs, curvy, but it's still with the flat. Like, come on, give us something that we can all relate to. I know it's a fictional show, but if you're doing a fictional show based on quote unquote real life, give us something that we can all relate to. If I was part of that friend group, I think I would feel some type of way because I'm not like them, I don't look like them, I cannot relate to those characters, like it's something that needs to change living in 2022, 2021, and we still have to think about all that and still have to complain about those. It still gives me a little bit of why? Like, give us something, like the Big Bang Theory, but I'll talk about that another time. Okay, I will rant about that another time, but yeah, give us something. But other than that, the show is okay. I would watch it again. It's not a great show. It's still kind of predictable. It's still kind of typical, the same storylines over and over and over, like the stupid cliffhanger, quote unquote cliffhanger. Come on now, that's been done. Even on Disney shows, that's been done. But yeah, it's an okay show. Recommend. Whatever, do you. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. See you in the next one. Cheers.